I'm a student finishing up my bachelor's degree, and I've been using the Thomas Frank's Ultimate Brain template basically to track my classes in the past. And while this is working okay, I don't love the breakdown of this. It takes me a while to actually find the class and the notes that I need. So I've decided to create a new system for how I'm managing all of my studies and just be able to input my syllabus into Notion at the beginning of the semester, basically. So I'm going to create a template for studies today, and I'm going to create it live while kind of explaining my thought process so you can see my process for actually creating this in Notion. And you can either follow along and create one yourself, or you can grab the template and the link in the description box. So first up, I'm going to create a new page in here. We're just going to call it study time. You can change this later. Basically, I want to outline first the kind of plan or the things that I want in here. So I definitely need a place for my notes. I like taking digital notes in here, and I want a place to put my syllabus and videos or anything like that, any resources. So I think all of those can fall under notes, and then maybe have a view in there that is information. So that would be the textbook, important links, syllabus, things like that. Then I want to have tasks in here. I want to make sure that I have a place to basically mark off all of my homework. Ideally, I would like this to be a consolidated database where all of my classes feed into it, and then I can have different views for each class. And then I also want to have a planning section. So a place where I can plan what classes I still need, how many credits I need, maybe track things like grants or scholarships. So we're just going to call this school plan. Then of course I want to have a nice dashboard page where basically I can see what is coming up in the week, maybe see some recent notes or starred notes, and have a quick place to add a new note for each class. So now that I have an idea of what I want to create, this will help me form the databases that I need and make sure that I'm keeping it as simple as possible. So first up, we're going to create the two databases that are going to be really essential for driving this, and that's the notes and task database. And I'm going to make these inline for now so I can link everything and then I can separate them out after the fact. So we'll have the class notes, and then we're going to have tags be for each individual class. I will probably make this a single select because there are very few times where I would ever need to have the same notes for multiple classes. I think that we can add a semester, so maybe again, a drop-down select where you are saying what semester you took the course, and that way you can sort the view by semester. I think I want to have a section for the chapter, or I guess the date that the notes were taken. Maybe the chapter can be a different filter. So we're going to have just the creation date. I don't need the time, so I am going to hide that. I just want it to show the date for me. Okay, I think that's a good start. I'm going to go ahead and create the task database. We're going to make a due date filter. And now that I was about to add a class section here, I'm thinking that it might actually make more sense to have a separate class database that's linked to the school plan. So instead of the school plan just being strictly grades and grants and things, it can actually be my classes, and that way I can see which ones I still need to take and which ones I have taken. So I'm going to go ahead and make that database as well and call it classes. Make it required, optional, in progress, and done. And then let's go ahead and add our semester drop down here instead. And that way we can just pull these two as relations rather than have them be their own columns. So I'm going to delete those. And yeah, I think that will do. So I'm going to go ahead and add the relation column now and link that with my classes database. And we don't want to show it on both. I think I'm going to actually show it, and we're going to call it class tasks on here, and then I'm going to hide this in this view for now. We'll get to that in just a moment. Then we'll do the same thing here, add a relation to the classes. Okay, so now let's call this class A, for example, class B, and class C. I'm going to open up class A here, and we have the related notes and class tasks showing up in the properties because that is a two-way relation. Instead of showing them up in the top here, I'm going to choose to show them as a page section, and that will eventually add tasks and notes down here. So let's fill those in really quick and call this example note 1. Now if we open up class A, for example, we can see the tasks and notes that are related to this course. We could put the syllabus in here if we wanted to, or whatever class information is needed, such as important links or the textbooks required, or maybe any prereqs if this is something that I'm planning to take in the future. Then we have the tasks here, which we can add in, you know, all of the coursework basically that's due. We could probably also add a section here. I think we'll call it multi-select. That is a category section. So this would be to track things like, is it a exam? Is it reading? Is it questions? Or conversations? What discussion? And I can add more as needed, but that will just help me keep track of kind of what is necessary to actually study. Okay, so we have our notes, and we'll have a view for the information, which we don't actually need now because we're going to put our syllabus into the class. But let's create a view that's going to be specific to each course. So let's create master view. And then let's just create a list view for this, and we'll call it class 1. I filter it by the class, contains A. We'll sort it by the created time, and we'll do descending. And now we can duplicate this view and just edit the filter for each class so we have different views. For school tasks, we also need to add a checkbox for when it's completed. And we'll shrink that down and move it to the left here just to make it easy to access. Okay. And then for classes, we can have this sorted by the semester status instead. And we want it, yeah, ascending. We want to see what classes are coming up next. Let's call this master view again, and then let's make a new view that's called current courses. Okay, so our views are set up now. We have views for each course that we will set up as we put the courses in. We have kind of the school plan, so this is classes. I would still like a place to track grades maybe. So let's, what are the grades? Yeah, these grades are usually by GPA, is at least how my school does it. So if someone else wanted to change it to text where it's a, you know, A, B, C, whatever, then that should be fine. But mine is in GPA format. Let's see, grades, grants. So maybe we could have just like a finance section for like some notes on finances. I think I'm just gonna add that to the dashboard view as like quick reference notes, maybe like a meeting notes kind of a thing. And that way when I meet with advisors or whoever, or if I'm planning, you know, financial stuff, I have a place to kind of put that. That's not in the class notes database. Okay, so we have all of these set up. Now I'm going to turn each of them into a page. And it's time to set up this dashboard. I want small text and full width. I'm going to make this mono style. Let's do 2 columns here. We'll do a callout block. We want to create a quick button for new class notes. So we are going to add a new page to the class notes database, and we'll just let that open up. And let's do side peek, open up the new page. We'll do a quick note. Yeah, and then let's add one for tasks as well. Quick task, and we're going to add a new page in the school task database. Open up the new page in side peek. Great. Actually, let's add and we will change this background to white just to give it a nice clean look. And now we are going to make some different views. So let's do a linked view of a database. We're going to pull up our class notes first, and we'll make a new empty view. We're going to call it recent notes. I don't want to show the vertical lines. We don't need the database. We don't need the page icons. We want to filter this by created time. It's relative to today, and we're going to make it in the past 1 week. So any notes that were created in the last week will be in here. We don't need to see exact created time at that point. And we don't need to see semester because it should only be the semester's courses in my brain. But we can group it by class, and that way we can also hide this. And now we can have our recent note view. I think I'm going to add a call out around that just to make it look a little nicer. We'll rename this to be blank and create maybe a clock. And just add a space in there and it will just make that recent notes. Okay, let's make all those bold so they stick out. I want some notes. I'll probably end up coming back in here and adding some more custom icons just to make it a little more fun. And then if I lock this database, there it is, it will get rid of that add group. So it just cleans it up a little bit, makes it a little nicer to look at. Okay, so we've got that going for us, and then this is going to count how many notes are in each one. What else do we want here? I think I want a section for some like quick notes, or let's do this. We will make a button. I'm gonna call it New Thought. Oops, and I'm still on caps lock. We're going to insert a block, below the button. Should we make it a page or should we make it just a drop down? I think we're gonna do a page. Let's just call this New Thought. There we go. We're good. I think that's all set. I would like to maybe add something a little silly that is totally not necessary, but I think it is fun. And that will be like a progress bar of how many classes we've completed. So let's call this progress. We're going to create, okay, so let's create a mini database here. Call this database progress. We want to add a relation to the classes. Add a progress tracker here. And then basically what we'll do is create an automation so it adds any classes to this. We'll call this completion rate. Now we can do a roll up. Of the status, and we're going to calculate to count. I want to count how many are completed first. Okay, so if we say 0 are complete, let's see how this works. Let's say this is now done. 33% of my classes are complete. Status in progress. Yeah. Okay, so we can just use the completion percentage. So now we want to edit this view from a layout to a gallery view. We don't want the database title. We don't want the page content. The card can be a medium size, that's good. Open pages in 𝗏𝗏𝗏. We don't want to show the page icon. We do want to show the percentage complete. Progress, lock. I think that is it. We have our class notes, school tasks, classes, quick entry notes, quick tasks, new thoughts, our progress bar to show how many courses we've taken, and then our recent notes here. I think this is everything I would want for at least my notes. I may add a few things over time, but I think this is a great start. Let me know what you guys thought. Again, you can grab this template down in the description box, but hopefully this gave you some ideas for organizing your Notion or creating some dashboards and some different plans in your own accounts.